February 2015, a photograph appears on the internet. A simple dress, blue and black, or was it white and gold? The internet literally stops, and at the center of this digital storm is a young couple from a remote Scottish island, Keir and Grace Johnston. However, 7 years later, in March 2022, Grace would call emergency services from that same remote island.
911, what's your emergency?
Her voice desperate, terrified. Just 4 words shattered the illusion of that happy marriage.
My husband is trying to kill me.
How does a fairy tale become a nightmare? How does a digital phenomenon hide a decade of terror? And why didn't anyone see it happening? The Isle of Colonsay has about 120 people. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where secrets should be impossible to keep. But isolation has a dark side. Grace Johnston didn't just live on Colonsay, she was trapped there. The prosecution would later reveal a pattern that extended over 11 years. 11 years of control, of violence, of a man systematically destroying his wife's independence piece by piece. Keir Johnston controlled where Grace went, her money, who she could see. He isolated her from friends, discouraged her from meeting them. And on an island with no permanent police presence, Grace was in what prosecutors called a situation where she felt trapped. Even his own family lived next door, with just one door connecting the houses, as Keir had proudly explained on The Ellen Show.
My mum and dad live next door. We have an adjoining door. So I knocked.
But this proximity didn't mean protection. The violence escalated slowly, a shove here, a scream there. Then came the more serious incidents. Keir allegedly struck Grace through the open car window, put her in a chokehold and dragged her from a pub when she refused to leave with him, strangled her. Each time, the island remained silent. In the days before March 6, 2022, Grace did something brave. She attended a job interview on the mainland, against her husband's explicit demands. It was an act of independence, a search for freedom. Keir was furious. That night, while Grace was away, he drank at a pub quiz. The messages he sent her grew increasingly dark. You should support me, but you don't. Hours later, another message. Someone is going to die. When Grace returned home that night, Keir was asleep. She probably hoped her husband's fit of rage had passed. But when he woke up, he said he was leaving. She followed him outside. What happened next would leave visible bruise marks on her neck and trauma that would last forever. The witness who heard Grace's screams ran to help, pulled Keir away. For a moment, it seemed to be over, but then he went back inside the house. When he returned, he was holding a knife. "I'm going to finish you," he said. He strangled her again, 20 seconds that felt like an eternity. Grace managed to keep distance from the knife, certain that if she didn't, he would stab her. Until miraculously he gets distracted, Grace seizes the opportunity and manages to call emergency services. When police arrived hours later due to the island's isolation, they found Keir Johnston hiding under a table, still holding the knife. At one point, he held the blade against his own throat. Grace survived, but the woman who had laughed on The Ellen Show, who had been at the center of an innocent debate, was left emotionally, psychologically, and financially destroyed. May 2024, Glasgow High Court. Keir Johnston, now 38 years old, pleaded guilty to assaulting Grace, causing her injury and danger to life. The attempted murder charge was reduced, but the evidence was damning. His own lawyer admitted that Johnston had accepted responsibility. 4.5 years in prison and a 10-year restraining order, a punishment that for many doesn't reflect the severity of it all. But here's what haunts this case. What makes it more than just another domestic violence story? In her victim impact statement, Grace described suffering that went far beyond physical harm. emotional trauma, psychological damage, financial ruin, the kind of devastation that cannot be measured in bruises or broken bones. And yet, for 7 years, the world knew them only as the dress couple, the cute newlyweds who made us stop and question whether we could trust our own eyes. While millions debated blue-black versus white-gold, a woman lived in fear. While the internet laughed, argued, and shared, a pattern of abuse continued, invisible and inaudible. The prosecutor revealed something frightening during the trial. When Keir later spoke with a doctor, he alluded to previous episodes of domestic violence, described episodes of emotional distress since childhood. This wasn't a single moment of anger, it was a lifetime of violence culminating in an attack that nearly killed his wife. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We live in an era where we see everything and notice nothing, where a photograph can captivate billions, but a woman's suffering can remain invisible. The Isle of Colonsay, with its 120 residents, its tight-knit community, its lack of police presence, became a prison, a place where screams could echo across the water and still not be heard. Grace Johnston is still recovering, still rebuilding a life shattered not once but repeatedly over 11 years. The dress that broke the internet is now forever linked to something much darker. How a smile on television can mask terror, how viral fame can hide violence. The question we should be asking isn't why the dress appeared different colors to different people. It's this: how many other Grace Johnstons exist right now, trapped on islands, literal or metaphorical, while the world scrolls past, distracted by the next viral moment? Because here's what the Keir Johnston case reveals about us, about our society. We're much better at seeing optical illusions than at seeing abuse. We'll debate a dress for months, but ignore warning signs for years, and in doing so, we become complicit in the silence. The dress wasn't blue and black or white and gold, it was blood red. The color of violence that hid in plain sight while the world looked the other way.